Good night and welcome to another edition of the Dugout podcast. I am your co-host Andrew, alongside my fellow co-host Marissa,
Hi.
and we're back with another episode of, keenly debated topics, right?
Sure.
Topics of high discussion.
High discussion, all right.
What's your problem? You don't seem enthusiastic.
How can I be enthusiastic with some of these things? I literally roll my eyes when you send me this agenda.
Interesting.
Not because the agenda was bad, but because, gosh, man, some of the things on there that might upset me. But I'll try to keep my composure today as best as I can.
I'm actually very, very intrigued to find out what things have upset you. So I don't keep your composure. There's no need. This is the end of the season. I think that everyone will end of this, sports here, I guess we'll call it that. Mm-hmm. But we're approaching it, for example, in some instances that we're going to discuss. And, feel free to have that 2-minute, 3-minute Marissa rant that you have, that I've grown so accustomed to. In reality, it's probably more about 7 minutes, but for the purpose of the show, we'll keep it to 2 and 3, right? Yes, ma'am?
Sure.
All right. So our first topic is the race for the Champions League in the Premier League.
Right.
So
prepared for this.
We fully expect, well, not fully expect, we know that Liverpool have qualified, and I fully expect that Arsenal should remain in top 5. But there are about 4 or 5 teams, I believe, that are vying for those 5 teams that are vying for those remaining 3 positions. Chiefly Nottingham Forest, Manchester City, Chelsea, Newcastle, and Aston Villa. So, Marissa, how do you see this one playing out?
Well, it's going to definitely be tough. Tough for some more teams than others. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the remaining fixtures, which you said we would do.
Right.
We start
which I didn't
first.
get a chance to do, anyway.
It's okay. I'll help you out.
Thank
Sky
you.
Sport did a nice graphic a couple of weeks ago that I screenshotted just for this moment.
Right.
So we start with City since they've now moved into 3rd. I think they have 60 points now, right? I think so. After today's last gasp winner. Anyways. Mm-hmm. Right. So they have, I think, the most favourable running, and I think they will definitely qualify for the Champions League. And I think they are likely to finish 3rd.
Likely to finish 3rd.
Yeah. So their next fixtures are Wolves at home.
Before we go forward,
okay,
can you send me the screenshot you took?
Sure, no problem.
So I can follow too. So I can tell if I agree or not.
No problem.
If I concur with this.
So share WhatsApp. What your name now?
See what I haven't put up with?
I do that all the time with people
on
when I can't find them on WhatsApp. Anyways, so I just sent it to you. You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much. I appreciate you.
So obviously this was a few weeks ago, so I will ignore the fixtures that already play on the graphic. So then their next fixture is Wolves at home. Mm-hmm. I think that, Wolves have been playing well lately, but I expect City to win that. Mm-hmm. Southampton away, banker for anybody. Bournemouth at home and Fulham away are challenging fixtures because both teams are playing well. Mm-hmm. But I think I expect City to win all 4 of those games, to be honest, especially at this stage in the season when so much riding on these games. So I think based on that, I expect them to pick up another 12 points, so that will be 72 points, and I expect them to finish 3rd.
Okay. I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah.
Based on their fixtures, they definitely have some decent games coming up.
Yeah.
Wolves at home. Wolves have been in good form, like you said, but I would favour City to probably get a result.
Right.
And when I say result, I mean 3 points. Mm-hmm. Southampton away, like you said, I don't want to disrespect Southampton. I do not want to disrespect Southampton. I say banker for everybody, but it is looking like that. But the thing is, interesting thing about Southampton, which might give the other competing teams for the Champions League spot a little bit of hope, if you could find a little bit of thread of hope for them, is this. I do believe that Southampton do not want to go down in history as the worst ever performing Premier League team in terms of points.
No matter what they want.
Points tallied. So I think that how many points are Southampton on? About 9?
I know. What they want and what might happen is two different things.
But I mean, in terms of maybe that would give the players something to fight for. I mean, City's a big ass, but give them something to fight for. at least for an hour or so, you know, just to try to get.
Southampton have 11 points.
Have 11 points, and I think the record is actually that. So right now they're equal for that record. I think Derby would have been the team that had the lowest ever points tally, being relegated by 11 points back in 07, 08.
I'm sure they could squeeze out a win or something or draw somewhere, but not against City.
Okay, I agree with you. By just saying in terms of like,
I understand.
Southampton might put up a bit of a, fight. You still want to show a bit of like pride. You still got a bit of self-respect in terms of your job and do your things properly. Even though you've been relegated, I do believe that because their fans will still probably come to the game. You don't want to just come and lay down and roll over.
Again, what you want and.
All right. So we agree with Southampton.
We agree. Okay.
Yeah, I still think that they'll get past them. Bournemouth at home could be potentially tricky fixture. Yeah. Tricky fixture. Fulham away, tricky fixture as well.
For sure, but
I feel that City will make it.
I think they'll win it all.
Kind of maintained for the most part.
Yeah, you did. You always thought City would finish third as well.
I mean, some of the results were giving me pause for concern though, but
yeah, it's true. So then the team in fourth is Forest.
Yes.
Yeah. So Forest got a huge win yesterday. I mean, it's can't depend on Spurs for nothing.
It was expected. You had predicted that.
I predicted 2-1 to Forest.
Right. You got the result.
But still, that's the result I wanted.
Well, you wanted Spurs to take points off of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, you can't depend on Spurs for nothing, so I ain't shocked. So when I look at their fixtures, Brentford at home, Palace away, Leicester at home, West Ham away, Chelsea away. I don't know. I know the two teams I have to miss out on top 5, and Forest is one of them, to be honest. I think that... But now that I see their fixtures, I'm sure. Let me take a little peek. Okay. All right, so let me go through one by one. Brentford at home. Brentford are good away side.
I think they win that game.
You think they win? Okay. I could see a draw. Palace away. That could go either way. Leicester at home, they'll win.
Yeah, they'll win.
West Ham away. I could see them nicking that.
Maybe a point.
I could see them nicking it too. Chelsea at home. Depends on which Chelsea. I suspect that game will have a lot riding on it for both sides.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
That might be a decider.
Might be. Yeah, might be decided for 5th for sure. But I think Forest miss out.
Okay. And who's the other team that you have missing out?
Chelsea.
Interesting.
But we ain't getting them yet.
Okay, yeah, we ain't getting them yet. Aston Villa, you want to do that? Actually, no.
Yeah. We do Villa. We do Villa. Okay. We save Chelsea and Newcastle for last.
Okay.
Villa, I think Villa miss out for sure.
Because of today's result?
Yeah, I think today was probably going to be huge because when you look at their remaining fixtures, Fulham at home, Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, Man United away.
I actually think, right? I actually do not think. Wait, 1 second. Let me just check the current table before you.
I'll tell you while you look. So Villa and Chelsea both have 57 points. Villa have 4 games left. Chelsea have 5 games left.
Right.
I think that Villa's fixtures are too hard to get in that top 5. Especially when you look at...
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah, because, right, this Villa kind of like, what's the word? Villa kind of surrendered initiative to City today because I think Villa would have been content with a point. Right? I think Fulham at home, I think because the attacking weapons since January that Emery has managed to reassemble, I think Fulham at home is a game that they will try to win, especially after they're going to try to win that. And the home. Bournemouth away is the trickiest fixture from what I can see here. Then Spurs at home, they should win. And Man United away, I feel as though Villa would believe that I could get something from that game.
Definitely, but I find Spurs, especially if, okay, so the caveat we should add here is that either Spurs or Man United may be preparing for a Europa League final.
Okay.
Maybe. So, I mean, you don't really need to add that as a caveat because both of them have been pretty bad in league.
Right.
My thing is that Spurs, you just don't know what version of Spurs will show up. I think that Villa will definitely like playing Spurs in terms of attacking ways. But you just don't know. I just don't know. I just think on paper, gosh, On paper, it's tough, but like you say, Spurs and United ain't really playing much in the league this season.
I think Spurs.
So all right, let me put it into a points perspective. Okay. Realistically, how many points you could see them getting from their last 4 fixtures?
I can say you see them getting at least 9 points.
9 points.
Yeah.
So that would put them at 66.
Right.
And we currently have City at 72. Okay. So let me stick a pin there. You giving Villa 66. We ain't do Forest. You want to do Forest?
Yeah, do Forest.
Okay. Realistically, I could see Forest getting... I could actually see Forest getting maybe... Wait. 3, 6, 7, 8. I could see Forest getting between 10 and 11 points, though.
10, 11? You giving very much? Wait, man.
Because I given them Leicester win.
Leicester win that 3.
I given them...
Because I given Forest a win at home against Brentford that 3. I give him a Leicester win that 6, right?
A draw at Palace.
A draw at Palace, which should be 7. I'm going to give them, I think, a draw at West Ham, which is 8.
Right.
So the only question mark is, do they beat Chelsea at home?
Right.
So I was saying either between the 8 and 11, kind of, depends on if they win the game or not.
So basically, Forest end on 68 or 71.
Okay.
Yeah. 68 or 71.
All right.
Which is more than what we are going to say that Villa is going to end on.
Okay. Because we said we have Villa at 66.
66.
Okay.
So Villa at 66, Forest at maybe 68, 71, depending on how the Chelsea game goes. All right.
And we have City at how much again?
72.
72.
Yeah.
Okay.
12. I given them 12 points from 12.
All 4 games. Okay, 12.
So this break gets interesting. Let me do Newcastle first. Okay. I got a lot to say about Chelsea.
I bet.
No, I think Newcastle have a banker against Ipswich at home this week. That's 3 points I give them. Brighton away, I give that a draw. Which is 4. Chelsea at home, I give them 3 points.
Me too. I hear counting.
Yeah, I say it so fast.
Sorry, I'm here counting. Go ahead.
So that's 3, 4, and 7. Arsenal away. Let me give them naught.
I'll give them a point.
All right, so you say 8, I say still at 7. Everton at home, I gave them 3.
Okay, that's 11.
So 10 for me, 11 for you. Newcastle currently have 59
right.
points.
We're getting split already.
Right, yeah. So I giving them 69, you giving them 70. Because I think we had a point different, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because I said no for Arsenal, you said 1. So Newcastle realistically can get to, in our opinions, because this ain't facts, realistically they could get to 69 or 70.
Okay.
Right? So we got Villa at 66, Newcastle at 69, 70, Forest at 68 to 71. Ooh, it's tight though.
Wait. City at 72.
Forest at 68 to 71, because we ain't talk about them that game with Chelsea in a bit.
Right.
Newcastle 69 or 70.
And we said Villa was
66.
Okay.
So Villa out.
All right, let me see. What game Villa go again? Villa got Spurs at home on Man United. All right. I mean, I ain't that confident at the out though, because I can still see Villa winning. I can still see Villa winning all 4 games though.
Okay, so if
I
they win,
I would not put that past Villa.
If Villa win all 12 points, that still puts them at 69.
69. I'm a brain on goal difference.
Exactly, and Newcastle goal difference is
it's first player. All right, so let me compete with Newcastle.
Yeah. So any
first goal difference better than
everybody goal difference better than Villa win.
Yeah, all right, Villa might be out there. All right, Villa out there. Unless people drop points.
Unless people drop points, yeah. So let me go to Chelsea. Chelsea I have completely eliminated Chelsea after that Ipswich draw, which was completely ridiculous in my opinion. That was a huge blow. So for me, Chelsea currently have 57 points. Everton at home, let me say 3 points.
Okay.
Liverpool at home, no way in hell. But let me say a point.
You might get a point. You might get a point.
That may be the game Liverpool see the league.
No, Liverpool made league Sunday.
Only if Arsenal lose tomorrow?
No, we can still win against Arsenal. If Arsenal lose tomorrow, we win the title.
But when they just need 3 points against Spurs.
Yeah, so we can beat Spurs. Yeah. So we can still lead.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna give Chelsea a point because you
would give me a guard of honor, but we already see league. But.
Okay, fair enough. So I would give, just for that reason, I would say a point.
Okay.
Yeah? So I would say 3, that's 4 points that I'm giving Chelsea. Newcastle away, not a chance in hell. Man United at home.
Mm-hmm. That was draw. No, you. That was draw.
Honestly?
Yeah, you overdrew.
Honestly,
because I feel like Newcastle can beat you. I mean, honestly, sometimes you feel different about these games as they get closer.
It's true. But based on we can only evaluate on
based on the rate. So
basically, I giving them 4 points, none against Newcastle.
I get a point at home.
I get a point. I agree because knowing Chelsea, Man United games.
Forest away might be academic by that point. Will be academic by that point if that's we turn out before then.
Exactly. But Forest away, let me call it a point.
Right,
so realistically, that is 1, 2. That's 6 points.
6 points.
That's 63. So
right
now we're looking at 6th place.
But that's good though. Let me put it in context for you. Let me put it in perspective for you.
We were second place and people talking about title.
That's true. But let me put it in perspective. Way is good for you. Can I ask me?
I'm listening.
Because he was in Conference League this year, no European Europa League, which means that's progress.
Okay, logically. Okay, if you want to spin it like that logically, and I suspect that that's what Marissa would say, I suspect that's what the owners would say, I suspect that's what the sport directors would say, but that's not going to fly. You cannot be in second place, cruising towards top 4, and collapse like we have. Like, our form has been wretched since December.
Correct.
So therefore, I can't say it as progress. I got to say it as regression. Progress in terms of season to season, as opposed for the last few years.
But that's what I meant, season to season.
But I can't look at it that way for this season.
But to be honest, they think you got okay. I remember when we were coming towards Christmas, you said that if Chelsea got through the Christmas period, still in the ascendancy or still thereabouts, then you would start to believe that a title challenge was possible.
I like when I know my team.
At the time, your form was encouraging, and it looked that way. But like you said, for some reason, you all really hit a buffer. I kind of stall, since December. For me, I think real disappointment is that even if you all didn't sustain the title charge, you would expect you all to be a bit more consolidated within that top 4 or 5 teams. Right. You should not expect yourself to be battling to get in. You should be like a bit more close to Arsenal, if anything.
Exactly. The only way we can realistically get top 5 is if we win 4 of our last 5 games. Because that is 12 points, that puts us at 69. And I think we're looking at between 68 and above to get top 5.
Okay.
So that's why I put Villa out. So for me, I can't see we winning 4 of our last 5.
Your 4 of your last 5 is Everton at home, Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Forest. Okay. Everton at home, I agree with you that I think you'll win that game. Liverpool at home will be a draw. In my humble estimation, it could be a defeat.
That Newcastle away game
the Newcastle away game is a critical game. Because Newcastle away, if you don't get a positive result in that game, you could beat Man United at home, but then you all
depends
come
on
to play
Newcastle.
Coming on play to people level.
Yeah, that's exactly it,
And then Forest away, goodness gracious, that can be a, I don't know, because honestly. In crunch games this season, you guys haven't delivered.
Exactly.
So I can't really be confident and say that you will actually get a win.
Exactly.
That you will probably need at Forest.
That's why I tell you, as we started, Forest and Chelsea were my teams to miss out. But obviously I changed to Villa because I think Forest fixtures are actually decent for them.
Yes.
So yeah, I think Villa and Chelsea miss out. It's just a matter of if we finish 6th or 7th.
Okay. Well, I concur with that estimation because based on fixtures that are remaining, I also think that Villa and Chelsea are the late teams to.
What we need, this is what we need though. We need Ipswich to do something, Ipswich and Brighton to do something. If Ipswich and Brighton could do something for us against Newcastle, that would give us hope. And if Brentford and Palace could do something against Forest. I needed Forest to lose yesterday, or at least drop a couple points.
That wasn't happening though.
I know.
That wasn't happening.
So yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page. We expect Forest, City, and Newcastle to make top 5. Nottingham Forest in Champions League. Wow.
I mean, they're former winners.
They've deserved it, based on the season they've had.
They're previous winners of the European Cup, the old European Cup.
Fair enough.
Only certain teams who are going to qualify.
Oh my gosh.
Well, sorry, so far. But hopefully I'm not tempting fate and that actually this year.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So. Yeah. That's it for that segment.
Yes, please. So our next segment is let's have a quick discussion about the relegated teams. This will be the second year in succession that the 3 promoted teams have gone straight back down. So Leicester would have been relegated at the weekend as a result of Liverpool's victory at the King Power. Southampton's relegation was already confirmed a few weeks ago. And Ipswich, the gap is too big. They're going to follow in sharp fashion. I do believe that the 2 teams that have been promoted from the Championship have been Leeds and Burnley. So they're back up in the Premier League, and we'll have to wait until the playoffs conclude to see who the third.
Who's in the playoff running, you know?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. I haven't checked. But
I remember seeing Stoke. Imagine Stoke back in the Premier League.
But right, I know last year there was a lot of talk about, what was the reason that the newly promoted sides were going straight back down. And no one has been able to last more than one season. And this is the second year it's happening in succession, where no one has been able to last multiple seasons or sustain their Premier League status. So what are the reasons for that in your estimation?
I think it's I think it's the resources and how they're used. So when I look at the teams that have come out over recent years, Forest, Fulham, right? Fulham, yeah.
In recent years? Okay, Forest, Fulham.
Brentford.
Yeah.
Who's the other team I will put in here? Not Brighton. Brighton have been in the league for a while, right? For at least 5 years by now?
Yeah, at least 5.
Right. So, Bournemouth. What about Bournemouth? Bournemouth came up 3 seasons ago.
Yes, they did.
Okay, so let me put Bournemouth in that equation. When you look at how those teams have strengthened, remember there was a lot of talk about Forest and buying how many players they bought, whatever. But when you look at the quality those teams have added, Fulham, I think for me, Fulham is more a Marco Silva thing. I think they're well coached. But the players, Forest as well, I guess, because they're well coached. But they've also spent wisely. They have a really good centre back in named Murillo, right? Callum Hudson-Odoi was a shrewd signing, I think. Decent player. Just
yeah. I made some. I'll let you go. Keep going. Sorry.
Brentford obviously had Tony to keep them up. But I find that Thomas Frank is doing a really good job with the resources. He's a good coach, yeah. So you're really seeing that. I'm not sure Brentford would be doing it as well without him, though. I think that's a coach thing, too. So I think it's the resources. When you look at the other sides, other than Ipswich have Liam Delap, but it's not he's be banging any goals every single week. But who really scores goals for these newly promoted sides? Who's really scoring the goals? Then defensively, some of them have been really bad, especially Southampton. So I think it's resources. Maybe they don't have as much resources as some other clubs when they come up. And then in terms of how they use the resources, for me, is also a thing. So maybe that's down to recruitment and stuff. But I think it's resources, and obviously the gap between the resources that are available in Prem and Championship is pretty wide. So that's what I would say.
Okay, interesting points. I think. So you made a couple points that I'll touch on one by one. In terms of Forest situation, Forest spent a lot of money.
A lot.
Pardon?
I say a lot.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money. But if you look at the players that Forest would have signed, which I always say, even if a guy to me goes to a big club and fails at a big club, he's not going to be worse off for the big club experience.
It's true.
So when Forest
Elanga.
bought Elanga and Hudson-Odoi and
Gibbs White, he wasn't a big club.
Gibbs White, but there were some defenders. So they think Serge Aurier, that was at Tottenham before. They bought him at one point.
Chris Wood was at Newcastle.
Chris Wood, right. So just a couple names. They don't need to go through whole squad.
Right.
But Forest would have bought people that have had experience at big clubs or have had Premier League experience.
Premier League
Gibbs White
experience,
comes in,
right? That's key too.
So I feel like that would have, given them a little bit of leeway in terms of being able to at least grind out certain results or win certain games, because For example, although Hudson-Odoi might not have the consistency or at that point in the career demonstrated consistency to play for Chelsea week in, week out, he's still a player capable of the special moment, and he will still come and win you a game at Anfield early in the season, right? So that's one. If you look, apart from Brighton, because to me, Fulham, the teams that you mentioned, Fulham, help me out a bit.
Brentford. Who's the other team I call? Fulham.
There was somebody else.
Fulham. Bournemouth.
Apart from Brighton, who I felt when Brighton came up, Brighton was playing a nice style of football. Bournemouth does it occasionally, but not late. But I find that late, those teams, the Brentfords or what's not, they have different ways of playing. So they kind of like cater their approach based on who the opponent is sometimes, right? The teams that we had last year that went back down, and this season, Leicester, but definitely for sure, people like Southampton and Ipswich, they have come up playing open football. I tried to play any
Burnley tried that too.
And Burnley tried it last year, right? And Norwich has tried it in recent times too when they've come up. So my thing is that there has been no adaptation to what the demands of the league is, right? And like you said, one of the major problems is that teams that usually stay up need to have a prolific goal scorer, right? Vardy clearly passed the his best spell, so Vardy wasn't able to provide that this season for Leicester. But if you look at Ipswich, like you said, Liam Diop, he did well in certain games, but he wasn't banging any goals week in, week out. Southampton didn't have a clinical, prolific goal scorer that could give him the goals to win games. And who's the other team that going down?
Leicester.
Well, I mentioned Leicester right with Vardy. Ipswich and Southampton, I mentioned all three. Right, none of them had any prolific goal scorer, and I feel as though, for me, teams that came in the league and were able to maintain their status, like you say, Brentford, Ivan Toney, they need to have a goal scorer. Even when Brighton came up, Brighton had, there was a guy, Glenn Murray, that was a top hat first, and then they bought back out a bit after. So, but you need goals to stay in this league.
Yeah, definitely.
You need defensive resilience too at times, but you definitely need goals, because if you're not scoring goals, you're not going to win games. That's the one thing that is guaranteed. So I feel like you said, I think like teams need to maybe recruit better. I find too that in terms of Burnley, and even if you look at Southampton and Ipswich, I have found that there has been a loyalty to stick with the players that brought you up. Now, the players that brought you up, they should get a chance in Premier League. But exactly, they should get a chance in Premier League, yes, but there needs to be a careful balance. Because I find that a lot of these teams that in recent years have kept majority of the squad that brought them up into the Championship. These guys have not had Premier League experience, and there's been a case where even if a guy was prolific in the Championship, he isn't necessarily prolific in the Premier League. So he's unable to make the transition or jump to the increase in quality. And I feel as though that's something that has come to the against.
It's a bit naive though. It's a bit naive to think that, the quality in Championship and the Premier League is totally different. So it's a bit naive to think that we'll serve you well in Championship, we'll serve you well in Premier. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, but like, again, it's like even when we discussed like the whole Tottenham with Ange Postecoglou or Man United with Ruben Amorim, I remember I said the interesting thing is that you have to play football to suit the players you have. But then you still have to be able to. But you still have to be able to adapt sometimes. So when I say adapt, I mean in terms of when I say adapt, if your philosophy is a philosophy that doesn't identify the players that you have, I still feel a coach needs to be able to adapt. Like he could coach a different style or maybe a different system, just to get results to keep your head above water.
Like Southampton, just do something different.
Yeah, because they had
how much goals them concede?
And stupid goals. I remember the game that I played against them at St. Mary's was one of my poor performances this year, and because they made mistakes at the back, I was able to get 3 points.
Yeah, it's true. So it'd be interesting to see what Burnley does differently, because I think that they were also a team very guilty of not adapting last year. So it'd be interesting to see now that they're straight back up what they do. Leeds as well, because Leeds stayed in the league for
for a couple of years,
right?
And then they went down.
But then they're still coached by Bielsa.
No,
Bielsa is coached who now? Argentina? No,
I think Uruguay. Is it Uruguay?
Oh, okay, some international team for sure.
I think it's Uruguay.
So it'd be interesting to see what they do too.
But I have a little bit of So two things I want to mention, two things quickly. Grimsoness always mentions that, you know, you have to be difficult to play against. Like which team in the league, you know, you say that's a hard game. And I find that, because for me, with Forest, I think that Forest is one of those teams that does Nuno Espirito Santos almost mentality, which that will make us difficult to play against. And I feel as though there's been a reluctance because people like Pep and Klopp and other coaches have come in the league. There's been sort of a reluctance or movement away from just trying to be difficult to beat.
It's true.
The other point I want to make, I have a bit of sympathy for Leicester because remember Leicester lost their manager to yours truly. I started yours, so I feel like that may have had an impact too. I'm not sure what Marissa would have done. And then when they hired Steve Cooper, apparently the fans didn't take to him. Because I remember when they sacked Cooper, they were above, they were outside the relegation zone. Yeah. Not by much, but it wasn't like they were right in. Yeah. And I feel like maybe Cooper might have given him a better chance to stay up. He kept at Forest the year before. Yeah. So you see how things, or not even if it was a year before, maybe the year before that. So you see how things work.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, so let's move on to some Premier League leaderboard and predictions. So you can pull up the fixtures. I will pull up the leaderboard. I was struggling this week till that Forest result. Give me all 3 points, yo.
Forest in the good.
Give me Spurs.
No, Forest in the good. Because Forest was to keep a clean sheet. So I could get all 3 points.
Oh, you said 2-0?
I think I said 2-0.
Oh, okay.
I think when I chat back, you had 2-0 for me. Honestly, right, when we leave here, I just don't remember what I said.
I just write them down, though.
So it's a good thing that you write them down.
So, yeah. So, now I got 7 points this week. You got 8. Oh. So, it's 69 to 57.
I really can't see this.
A few more game weeks to go. There's still hope.
What for? I would need a week where you get like 3 points. And that ain't happening.
I was actually on my way to that, you know. Like I said, the Forest result, I was like struggling with my results. Yeah, so thank God for that. So this upcoming week, we got some very interesting fixtures. And I will try not to be emotional for them.
So when we call it fixtures and you record the scores?
Sure.
Right, so tomorrow... We
actually did Arsenal's Crystal Palace. I was wondering why.
We did?
Yeah. I had it written down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get that then. Remind me of what my position was in that game and yours.
All right, let me go in. 2-2 you, 2-1 me.
To Arsenal? Mm-hmm. I feel like you might have them more accurate.
Yeah, it might probably be 2-0 though. Got a little confidence now, so it's scoring goals. Anyways.
All right, so early kickoff on Saturday. It's Chelsea against Everton.
Yeah. Chelsea love to ruin my weekends with early kickoffs, you know. Chelsea at home, right? Mm-hmm. I have to give Chelsea all 3 points here. I know that's hopium, but I would say Chelsea to win 2-1.
Okay. I'm also going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win.
Did not expect that.
All right. Our next fixture in the traditional big six, our top 6 teams. Mm-hmm. On Sunday, Man United visit Bournemouth at Vitality Stadium. I'll go first for that.
Sure.
I think Bournemouth will win this 1-2-1.
2-1? I agree.
Yeah. All right. Late kickoff on Sunday. Liverpool once Arsenal gets a win against Palace, then Liverpool have a chance to clinch the title.
What do you prefer?
I prefer to make myself.
Yeah.
But knowing Arsenal, right? I feel Arsenal purposely draw that game.
They won't do that, man. They won't do that.
Mikel Arteta?
They won't do that.
Yeah, man, you know Mikel. All right, so Liverpool at home to Tottenham. Liverpool either win the title that Sunday or have already won the title. We don't know yet, but...
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1. I'll go 3-0. 3-0 Liverpool.
You meant a goal?
No. They deserve it. Right. Thursday, my bad. Friday, May 2nd. City at home to Wolves.
City to win 2-1. Although I would love Wolves to do a little something.
I'll go for a 3-1 City win.
Wow.
Right. They kick off on Saturday, the 3rd of May. We have Arsenal at home to Bournemouth.
Go ahead.
Great. I think Arsenal win this game 2-1.
I think they'll draw. They'll be hungover from the disappointment of losing another title.
Interesting. Sunday, May 4th. Man United visit Old Trafford. Sorry, Man United away to Brentford.
Brentford to win 2-1.
I'll go with 1-1 draw. I'll give Man a point at some stage.
Uh-huh.
Alright, and
You say 1-1, Andrew.
this will be last game. When next one recording?
May 6th.
May 6th, right. So this will be last game of the... Right, so the last game of this round of
You
predictions.
forget West Ham Spurs.
Sorry.
Good thing it was...
But I thought, sorry, my bad. Right, so West Ham, Tottenham. Tottenham away to West Ham.
2-2. I feel like 2-2 is the most Tottenham scoreline though. Anyways.
I feel like West Ham will win this 2-1.
Oh gosh. You ain't getting Spurs no point today.
No. And the last game in this cycle is Chelsea at home to Liverpool.
I draw a bye.
You do?
I pass.
You can't pass. This in dominoes.
I went 2-2 first. Can't I though?
No, you went 2-2? 2-all?
I went 2-2 with Spurs. You gotta go first.
Oh, sorry. So you went 2-2. Okay. But remember, you know your team. So I was gonna give you first chance.
It's okay. I don't need first chance.
All right. So I'll go 2-1 Liverpool.
I pass.
All right. Well, if it passes, give me a chance to close the gap. Go on. Pass.
Look, I'm gonna go 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't be surprised if it's 2-1.
Okay.
Or 3-1, or 4-1, or 5-1.
Okay.
I think Chelsea drew a drubbing though. Honestly, the amount of mistakes we've made in games. I would just hope that the drubbing ain't coming this season. I know, it's so depressing. I mean, Liverpool to win the Champions League, Liverpool to win the Premier League, Arsenal to win the Champions League, Man United or Spurs to win Europa League. Like, that's depression.
You confident of that, or are you just saying the possibilities that could happen?
It's a very strong possibility.
Which one?
All of them.
No, they're not. I don't favor Man United to get past Athletic in the Europa League.
I didn't favor Man United to get past Leon.
But no, I watched the first leg, so I knew that Man U could beat Leon. I knew that was possible, right? I haven't seen the team that Spurs have to face, but I think Spurs might get the final, based on, I guess, just on the stand of their name. But that Athletic club with the two Williams brothers, you think Man U beat them?
But I hear Williams is a dope.
Which one is?
Nico? They want to play for Spain.
Nico, yeah. He's dope.
I hear so.
He played the last round. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if he got injured in the meantime, but still.
I just sad about football.
Right.
Football makes me sad.
No, and you also mentioned Arsenal being champions. Do you think Arsenal get past PSG?
I didn't think Arsenal would get past Real Madrid.
No one thought that. But
Exactly. So,
but
I feel like
you feel like Arsenal didn't put the cup.
it could be. It's just the worst possible season ever.
Okay. I don't think Arsenal win Champions League.
Probably cut here and cray. If Arsenal win the Champions League, life as we know it is over.
If Arsenal win Champions League, I'm not watching. Like, first thing. So you will message me and tell me that Arsenal win?
Me?
I'm not watching again.
You take a game, watch it?
I take it ours.
Nah, boy, I ain't watching it. I ain't watching it.
I am not taking that chance. I could stomach a Man U or Tottenham in the Europa League final against each other.
Oh, against each other? No, I can't
I
stomach
watch
that.
I don't really care.
That's like when you and Spurs was playing each other in the Champions League final.
But we know I was going to win.
Yeah, but still.
Anyhow.
It's like, can you get a draw but no result?
Okay. All right. So having said all of this, we're now going to take a break for a word from our sponsors.
Yes.
Whole Health Pharmacy, located in Jordan's Complex, Speightstown, St. Peter, carries a variety of products to take care of you and your health. Essential oils, muscle rubs, and the run-of-the-mill medications. And definitely don't forget your vitamins. Vinci sea salt, air humidifiers, tumblers, and women's havens pads too. We got it all for you. Don't forget your Barbados and natural Vinci snacks. So for sure you're gonna keep coming back. Ever hear about structured water? Well, tell your son, tell your daughter. Whole Health Pharmacy. More than a pharmacy, we take care of you and your health.
And we're back to the next depressing topic.
All right, so yes, our last topic for the evening. The West Indies women have failed to reach the ICC Women's World Cup later on this year. I'm going to hand over to our resident cricket expert, Marissa Chandler, to give us her take.
What the Brits to say? I am gutted.
You're gutted?
I'm gutted.
All right.
I am so disappointed, especially since we could have done so much better. I remember the last 2 weeks ago when I was here when it was due to start, I said I felt like I was kind of worried about DeAndre Doughton's absence because of the batting. Turns out that was kind of spot on. Our batters were poor. That loss against Scotland was embarrassing. You literally had Hayley Matthews breaking records in one break. I think she's the only person to take a 4-wicket haul and score 100 in a losing cause in the history of women's cricket. I think so. I think that's what I said. Mm-hmm. And the depressing thing about that loss is the fact that she was playing a long hand. She had to retire hurt twice, come back out, try to get them over the line, still lost. And I feel like I've never been, obviously I've trained in terms of cricket before. I've been on my school's athletic teams and stuff, but I've never been in a dressing room like that, where like how does she face them and how do they face her? In fact, let me start with how do they face her. How do you face that woman knowing that you completely just let her down? I mean the whole nation, but like the woman giving her all and wanna just doing junk. Like, so it started there. Andrew. Started there. And to be perfectly honest, when they lost that, I kind of felt that it was over. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt it. But you know me, I still maintain my hope. Who was the next people? They beat Ireland. No, they beat Ireland first.
But then it was their first 2 games?
Mm-mm.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I feel like BBC reported that, but go ahead.
Maybe lose the first 2 games, because I think the next game was Ireland.
So they lost Scotland, they beat Ireland. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They beat then the Pakistan game came. West Indies wasn't chasing much.
How much were you chasing?
I'm more sure it was 1 something.
Okay.
But let me just do a quick check. And I was following the game on Quick Info, and I'm like, West Indies was like 50 something for 5 and just start dropping like flies. And I'm like, what wanna do? I wanna know that World Cup qualification. Like, and granted, Pakistan are playing well, they're at home, all of that. But West Indies are a better side than Pakistan women. They were chasing 192.
Okay.
I get bought for 126.
Oh, so that's really net run rate took that hit.
Yeah. So then when Haley went early on in that chase, because Haley went first ball, I was like, we dead. We dead in water. Because it's like, if she doesn't carry us, we struggle. We struggle. So I think when I tuned in, because the games would start early. So when I got where I opened the scorecard and I saw we were 2 down, I was like, Lord, please don't let Haley be one of them. Open it, see Haley route first ball. I was like, yeah, it done. But sometimes you just need one person to stand up. Just one person. Nothing. So for me, I thought it was done then too. But you still have hope because net run rate. So then Ireland did us a favor by beating, I think it was Scotland. Pakistan did us a favor by beating Bangladesh. Then the Thailand game came. We had to beat them badly. So we won the toss. I guess they were hoping win the toss, put in Thailand, bowl them out cheap, chase on the score quick. But maybe the better option would have been to bat first, score a load of runs, and then bowl them out cheaply. But maybe they didn't trust themselves to bowl them out cheaply. Who knows? But whatever, they chose to think they skilled Thailand for like 160 something. But then we had to chase that, and that's my thing. Did they do the calculations? Because they had to chase that in 106, in 10 overs. So I was like, nah, it done. But then I see West Indies 70 something after 5 overs, and I'm like, okay, hope again. Is the hope that's kill you, Then when Haley get out, I was like, yeah, nah, it done. But then they give me hope again. So then it came down to the last over. Yes, we needed to chase it in 10 overs, but we had a little kind of loophole where if we had hit a 4 to tie the game and then hit a 6 to win the game, we would have gone past Thailand.
Right.
Sorry, Scotland. Bangladesh. Got me talking all sorts of gibberish. So then on the boundary, Haley was saying, you got to hit a 4 then a 6. And Stephanie Taylor hit a 6 and the game was over. And that was it. And the scenes after that, Andrew, were so tough to watch. Seeing people crying, seeing people on the haunches, it was hard to watch. Because lately, this has probably been Stephanie's last World Cup. Because Stephanie battling a lot of niggles and stuff. But Hayley Matthews is one of the best all-rounders in world cricket and in the prime of her career and will not be at the World Cup. Because she got let down by a lot of players. I felt Stephanie didn't stand up enough in this tournament. Probably had one meaningful knock. Chanel Henry was okay. But where are the others, man? The bowlers did well, I don't think there was a side that scored more than 200. I think Scotland probably scored the most runs against us, and that was the first game. Yeah. But the bowlers did a job. But the batters, Andrew, and sometimes it's like, it's the same malaise that afflicts the men. Like, just show a little discipline. Back down the haunches. You got 50 overs to go at less than 5 runs over. Just bat properly. So it's just really disappointing that first we had to deal with the men not qualifying, and now the women. I just feel obviously I feel bad for the whole team because I know that they don't want to perform badly. They don't want to not be there. But I feel especially bad for Haley because she literally gave her all. And then the thing that really killed me on Sunday was that ICC released a team in the tournament. 3 of West Indies players were in that team in the tournament. The only team that had more was Pakistan, and they got through. We had more persons in that team in the tournament. Just shows that we had some good individual performers, but as a team, we just didn't get it right, and it's just really, really disappointing.
I mean, there's nothing left for me to say.
Really disappointing. And you know what's worse?
Go ahead.
The last World Cup, we got his semis.
Well, I didn't watch any of the women's games. Like you said, it starts early. What time it starts, by the way? What time it was starting?
Some games it start like 12:30, and then some it start 5 in the morning.
Well, see, I was
Sleep time.
Yeah, sleep time and then gym time. I didn't get to watch anything. So, but what made me decide to talk about this was the fact that I did see the headline that West Indies failed to qualify. So like you said, I looked at I was able to peek at the Scotland scorecard. I was also able to peek at the Thailand scorecard. So like I was actually unaware of which game we lost so poorly, and you said it's Pakistan, that the net run rate took such a hit. Because like the Scotland game, though we lost it, it wasn't like
it was like 5 runs or something.
It was close. But from jump, Scotland, like you said, Haley got a 4-wicket haul, scored 100. I did read that she went off twice, having to retire hurt and come back. And it still wasn't enough. You tell the game again, the score like almost, I think it was like they had Marissa like 160 something.
Yeah, I think the final calculation was like the highest run rate in a winning cause or something. Like we were scoring at almost 16
Yeah, because to score over 150 in 10 versus like that's really some strong going.
But I'm like, where was that? Where was that in the Scotland game? Where was that determination and that drive to do what you needed to do in the Scotland game and the Pakistan games? Where was it? It shouldn't come down to a game against Thailand where you got to score 16 runs or over. It shouldn't.
I agree with you, but at the same time, like you said, not like you said, I don't want to say like you said, but the reality of the situation is that as a collective, our teams aren't strong. Clearly, women have the same affliction as the men in terms of if one or two key players do not turn up, then it's very, very unusual for the supporting cast or anybody from supporting cast to take a bit of accountability and some ownership. I didn't watch the games. I don't want to criticize that, say that they didn't, and I wouldn't. Clearly, they want to do better, but I feel as again, I think it's a game management issue.
Yeah.
I think it's a temperament issue at times.
Yeah.
Decision making. Same going back to game management. I think those are because like you said, only Scotland, from what I saw, got in excess of 200 runs in any of the
Bangladesh too, but I think Scotland scored more.
Right, in any of the innings. So it wasn't like our team, our bowling attack got blasted out or anything like that. It was more the batting effort.
It's always the batting, yeah.
Right, and like you said, if Haley didn't fire, and it's the same in the men's team too. If I don't want to call names right now because we're talking about women, but if certain players don't get a good start, don't bat majority of the overs, it's very difficult for us to win.
Yeah.
And we have to somehow try to remedy that situation. Need to get about at least 2, 3, 4 batters who are capable of occupying the crease and getting big scores, even if the key player fails.
Occupying the crease, that's it. Because Haley scored half of the runs against Scotland, so the 9 other batters couldn't even do a little bit more. That's the real disappointing thing. And to me, West Indies, when I say this isn't our level, that's not to be disrespectful to the other teams, because in my opinion, there's no way that the women's game should be 10 teams. I think Scotland and Ireland especially are good enough to play in the World Cup. So I don't know why we are doing 10 teams. But West Indies are better than these teams. West Indies are a better team than Bangladesh. And in my opinion, West Indies are a better team than Pakistan. We have a good bowling attack and we have good players, but it's like in key moments, like you said it about Chelsea earlier, it's like in the real clutch games, in the games where you have to deliver, it's like maybe the pressure, it gotta be something. Because it's like, think about how we did in the Thailand game. Obviously, it was a long shot. But it was like, because it was such a long shot, the pressure was off. So you could be free and you could just go there. It's like, we have such, and I just think when it comes to West Indies cricket, it's always a mentality thing. We have such muddled minds. It's like, maybe we be overthinking, oh my gosh, or maybe we playing with fear. I don't know what it is, but when the pressure is off. And that's why we did so well in that World Cup. Because nobody expected West Indies to get out the group. But we played extremely well. It's like when the pressure is not there, we fall. And I wonder if that Pakistani woman knew what she was doing at the beginning of the tournament when she was like, oh yeah, West are favorites. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know if that got in the girls' heads and it's like, okay, we have to do this. You know, it's like, I just always think with our sports people, it's always a mentality thing. That's just my opinion. It's not ability. It's not like these players are bad players at all. I just think mentally we just need a little bit more work in terms of our resilience and ability to handle pressure.
Well, I'll just close by saying, similar to what you said, I feel sorry for Hayley Matthews that at this point in time where she's in the prime of her career and if not the best, one of the best all-rounder batsmen in the women's game, she won't be participating in the next World Cup. She'll have to sit on the sidelines. But
sad.
It's sad, but I mean, that's sport. That's sports science. Sometimes the B players, based on which country they represent, don't always make it.
Sure, that's fair.
So I'll let you wrap up.
Yeah, so I said I would do this. I didn't tell you, but I said I would do it in my head.
Oh.
I definitely just want to give a shout out to our Barbadian athletes. Carifta concluded yesterday. And, you know, I thought we did really well. We got our best medal haul in 9 years, which is a long time. Reminder, we're the only Caribbean nation out there that doesn't have a stadium. And our athletes went out there. And even though, I mean, people may say it's only 14 medals when you look at how much Jamaica and Bahamas and Trinidad got. But for me, it was the athletes going out there and giving personal best performances, doing well, exceeding their best, giving their all. So it was really good. So I just want to big up those athletes, those who got medals, of course, congrats. But even those who just went out there and got PBs and just represented us, very proud of our athletes.
Hey, second that.
Yeah. You would second it. Some of them funny. These you students and all sorts of things.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But, you know, when it comes to Barbadian athletics, you put aside school rivalries and you just cheer for everybody.
But then the school rivalry only came from you. I don't look at that school that you went to. I think school rivalry. Never did. But then, nevertheless. Let's finish up the show if you want.
Yes. So yes, big up to our athletes. And our swimmers too, big up to them. I think they're coming back home with 21 medals, so big up to them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this has been another episode of the Dugout Podcast. A very depressing episode for me for so many reasons. I think when we come back here on May 6th, I think top 5 qualification will look a lot clearer, I think.
What I know is that when we come back here on May 6th,
if I hear that,
there'll be a team that have secured their 20th league title, and I'll be happy about that, you know? And I'm planning to wear some red next time.
Great. Gotta make sure I don't wear red. Anyways, so follow us on our socials, Marissa Simone 91, June 91 or 6. The Dugout _podcast. Obviously, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And just continue to support us. And that's it. See you again next time.